You're on.
Okay. Hi, I'm Marilyn Ellie. I'm with the Indian Point Safe Energy Coalition, and I'm one of the founding members, actually. And I've been studying Indian Point for the last 20 years or so and following what happens at the plant. It's an interesting journey, and it's one that has led me into learning about renewables and efficiencies and about our grid. So what's going to happen in the next 10 minutes is I'm going to try very hard to explain to people on a very simple level what the independent system operator, what they are and what they do, because a lot of people don't know about them, and they are really crucial to our grid management. They are the grid managers. They're an independent agency, they're a nonprofit agency. If you look at a structure of who does what and who can order what around, they are underneath the Public Service Commission. So they can get orders from the Public Service Commission, but they're very independent. They don't really owe anything to anybody. And they're an institution, and they're very agnostic about the way we generate our energy. Lately, they know and have worked and leaned towards incorporating more renewables, but that's because there was because the legislature passed a law saying they had to. So they are very law-abiding people there. What they do is they monitor the grid. They do that every 6 seconds. And going to their headquarters up near Albany, and there are tours, you can go there, is very interesting because you can see the whole entire grid for New York State on spread out on the wall electronically, and the lights are there and the generators are there and everything is there. It's really, if you want to really get into the grid, going on one of their tours is a very good place to start. If you don't want to go on a tour, just know that there is a serious group of people in an agency, a mandated agency, that are looking at our grid, and they do things like reliability. This is their power trends. This book is a compilation of what's going to happen and how it's going to happen in 2019. Merchant generators who make electricity, look at something like power trends, and what they do is they see where they can make money in the market, and then they go to the NYISO and put in a proposal. They may get approved and they may not. It may change or it may not. NYISO really is the policeman for the grid. Their chief job is reliability. And it's a shame that most people think the grid just operates on its own and don't know how very carefully supervised it is. NYISO is the agency that back in 2012 started a replacement plan just in case Indian Point had to go offline. NYISO is the one that's saying Indian Point can go offline and we won't miss it. We have enough electricity. And I was just up there recently and asked that question directly. And they said, if everything goes through as it's planned, there will be no problem for electricity in the grid. No rolling blackouts or anything else. You won't even notice when it goes out. They have what's called a 10-year plan, and this is their comprehensive reliability plan. And so they set goals. 10 years is a long time to set a goal. So what they do is every 2 years, their engineers come out with a report. The first year, it's on reliability and are they meeting their goals. The second year, it's on problems that they're facing and what's keeping them from meeting their goals and how are they going to meet their goals and what are they going to do to make sure all of their goals are met. And then again, the next year, you get another reliability report. And that's separate from what they do in regard to power trends. So they publish a lot of information, and I highly recommend their website. It has some charts and graphs and stuff like that on it, but it also has a lot of very clearly written information that goes into detail about who they are and what they do and how they do their job. They're very honest and very sincere about reliability and transparency. They really do want to be transparent and explain to people what it is they do and how they do it. they take the rules of the market. They actually set the rules of the market and sell electricity. They're the ones that run the auctions that move our electricity through through the capitalist system that we have. So a big business comes in and says they need this much electricity, this many megawatts, and NISO figures out a way that they get it. There's a whole system about starting from the lowest cost up and assembling a basket of electricity. And if you want to know more about the grid, that's a really interesting thing that you can tackle. There is a week ahead market, there's a day ahead market, and there's a five minute market. So electricity and the money that it entails gets moved around very, very rapidly. They are now trying to integrate renewables into our energy mix. It was a little difficult for them at first, but Public Service Commission insisted. So they started with wind, and what they found is that wind, while it may not be predictable, while the wind doesn't always blow, it is predictable when it will blow. They have the information from running a wind farm and from seeing what happens and seeing the patterns, so they can predict what they can get and when they can get it from that wind farm. They're starting a huge battery storage facility, because storage is really what we need to be able to call on instantaneously for our energy, especially during particular down times, or when the sun's not shining and the wind's not blowing, is people who are not so happy with renewables or want to say, know that this is a problem that's been solved. It really has been solved, and now what NISO is trying to do is to integrate those kinds of solutions into our grid. It's not always easy, but they're very talented people, and they're managing that very, very nicely. So what they do is they identify the problems we may have. They encourage market-based solutions. So if they see a problem of shortage of electricity or whatever the problem might be, they put out a request for proposals. They can get the proposals back because companies who are generating electricity see an opportunity for money, and then they evaluate these proposals and pick those that are best suited for cost, for a less cost for the consumer, and safest and most reliable. So they're identifying and they're identifying problems, encouraging market-based solutions, and evaluating what comes into them, so that our electricity rates, I know it's hard for people to believe, but our wholesale electricity rates stay low. In fact, the wholesale electricity rates have gone down for certain fuels like gas, has gone down 50% in the last few years, and will stay low. So our whole electricity market is changing, and it's changing very rapidly. But what we're doing is we're moving to things that are a generation that's renewable, really looking very hard at cost and efficiency, and particularly efficiency, because we can do a lot more work with the same amount of electricity and not have to build new power plants. And the best new power plant is the one that you don't build, far and away. So I hope that this has given you a little bit of an idea about the New York State independent operators. And you know where to look. You can look right on their website, look them up. There's no problem at all. And the next time someone says to you, oh my goodness, we don't have enough electricity, we have to have more and more electricity, you can tell them that the people who run the grid have consistently found, and projecting into the future, have found that our use of electricity is going down. And one of the reasons it is because of efficiency. We have plenty of electricity. We have a very good grid management system, moving towards renewables, moving towards a smarter grid, which means energy can be moved around faster and people can have more interaction with it. And just know that there's this whole level of people, very dedicated, smart people, working on keeping it safe, keeping it reliable, so the electricity flows, and every time you flip the switch, it's there. No rolling blackouts, nothing that you're going to have trouble with, except maybe a tree falling or some kind of poor maintenance. That may take the system down, but that's not because we don't have the electricity. We have plenty of electricity. Check out NYSO's website, and the next time somebody's hysterical about a generating plant closing, tell them, chill out, don't worry, it's been covered. Thanks a lot.